buenas, bienvenidas, bienvenidos todos a este evento. La verdad, siempre os digo que estoy muy contento, pero hoy estoy especialmente contento. Estamos en una nueva ubicación de las marcas en la Ciudad de México, aquí en Santa Fe, en lo que podríamos considerar la milla de oro de Santa Fe. Y quería en primer lugar agradecer al equipo, a los dueños de esta ubicación por habernos prestado el location, porque es verdaderamente impresionante. Agradeceros a todos por estar aquí, arrancando el año, arrancando temporada, una temporada que va a ser de grandes éxitos para Jaguar, tanto en lo deportivo como en los resultados comerciales, y agradeciendo al equipo Jaguar TCS Racing por estar aquí con nosotros. Así que de mi lado no voy a extenderme mucho más. Tendremos mucho tiempo de hablar a lo largo del año y ya quiero dejar la palabra a Adrian. Adrian, please.
Raul, thank you very much indeed. Good morning, everyone. Buenos dias. My name is Adrian Atkinson. I am the Head of Motorsport PR for Jaguar TCS Racing. It's a great pleasure and privilege to be with you here today in Mexico City in Santa Fe, at this wonderful Jaguar Land Rover facility. It's a great honor for us to come year on year to Mexico City and return to this amazing city, to this amazing track. And I'm going to spend the next 20 or so minutes just chatting with the team. And this weekend is going to be a new challenge. Everything pretty much changes for this weekend, apart from we're the only team with the same two driver lineup. Can you talk us a little bit through what's new? We've got a new car, we've got new tyres, we've got new batteries, we've got new technical regulations. Maybe just do a first pass of the top line of that, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, an exciting time for Formula E. Any new generation, any new set of technical regulations creates a new opportunity to reset the competitive balance across the field. But we have fundamentally an all-new car, which is completely different, no carryover from anything we had previously. A car which is more powerful. We go from 250 kilowatts up to 350 kilowatts. We have four-wheel regen. The car overall a lot more complex. So this is a really exciting race because we'll actually see for the first time everyone really starting to show their true potential with this new technology. The cars are going faster, the drivers have even more work to do behind the wheel than before. We have a brand new tyre from Hankook. We used to race with Michelin tyres. That's a very different feel to the car, the way that the grip that it has from a different tyre compound altogether. So in summary, there's a lot of things for the teams to get on top of. There's a lot of things for the drivers to get on top of for the first time. And what that will make is for a very unpredictable Mexican race in terms of who's going to be on top. Our job as a team, of course, is to just work hard, do the best we can to come out hopefully in a really strong position this weekend. But it's an exciting time. Actually, we're looking forward to it, starting this new generation, this first race. And after this weekend, we'll start to have a bit of a view of where our performance is across the rest of the field. So yeah, we've got our head down to try and do the best job possible and come away with some great points, hopefully.
Just before we talk to Sam and Mitch, can you tell us a little bit about how testing has been going? We've got this all-new car. We're learning a lot. We're learning every time that we take the car to the track.
Yeah, absolutely. Overall, it's been a huge development program. We actually started this car back in 2020, so a long time ago already. Pretty much from June this year, last year I should say, we've been testing non-stop. The drivers busy racing and then going to test weeks as well. So a huge amount of work. For us, the car is definitely kind of a challenge from the driver's point of view to drive. It's not easy, it's going to be hard, and the drivers will talk about that. It is going to be a really kind of challenging car for the drivers to get on top of. But as a team, I think we see some real underlying performance in the car, which is good. It's always hard to judge where your competition is. In Valencia, we had good performance in there in terms of our race pace and some of our one-lap pace. So yeah, it's always hard to judge testing and pre-season performance. When you go racing, when the flag drops, that's when the reality starts. So I think from our point of view, that's been our focus. But yeah, underlying good potential we can see. So we'll see where we end up come the end of this weekend.
Great. Mitch, if I can turn to you, congratulations on last season where you were runner-up in the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship. So you go in with high expectations, I guess, for this season.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, welcome everyone and thanks for having us. It's come off the back of a strong season. You want to carry that momentum into a whole new year, but it's a real reset this year with the new car, new teams. So I want to try and carry that confidence, and the team obviously want to carry that confidence into this season. But on one side we need to keep a little bit realistic that it is a big reset. So yeah, just super excited to get going again. You know, every year we're getting stronger as a team. I feel like I'm getting stronger as well in the championship. So I just want to obviously keep evolving that, and hopefully we can go one better this year.
Hermanos Rodríguez has been a circuit that's been quite kind to you. Is it a circuit you enjoy racing at?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of these highlight events throughout the year. As James touched on, you know, the Mexican fans are so passionate, very educated in motorsport. We had some really key milestones in our history in the championship, which is, you know, getting 4th place, our first points back in season 3, and then get my win back in 2020. So yeah, obviously we want to continue that run. Last year was a bit of a struggle for us, so we want to try and change that for this year. Start a brand new season, so I'm looking forward to seeing the Mexican fans. I heard it's sold out completely, so yeah, that's really exciting to know, and yeah, it's always an exciting time to come to it's a very exciting place to come, and I also love the food, so it's yeah.
You had a nice dinner last night out here.
Lunch, dinner, everything has been really good. So hope I'm not too heavy for the racing Saturday.
Take it easy on the guacamole. Sam, this is your 9th. Can I say that? 9th year in Formula E. I think this is your 98th race that you're about to start on Saturday.
99.
Is it 99?
99. I've done 98. I'm just
done
my 99.
So 99 and then 100 in Diriyah in a couple of weeks' time. How has the championship evolved in that time period that you've seen? We're now on the 3rd generation of Formula E car.
My gosh! So firstly, good morning, everybody. Thank you for turning out. It's great to see so many of you here supporting us in anticipation for the 9th season of Formula E. When we started this whole thing in 2014, nobody really knew what to expect, how Formula E was going to be accepted into the motorsport world, but it's grown from strength to strength. We're now on our 3rd iteration of car. It's now a fully fledged world championship event, and I'm super proud that I've been a part of it from the beginning, to be honest, Adrian.
And this new car, can you tell us a little bit about this? It seems like it's quite a handful to drive, but the Jaguar I-Type 6 is going to be a unique challenge this year.
It is indeed. It's lighter. It's got 100 kilowatts more power. We're working with a different tyre supplier in Hankook. The tyre is a different tyre. It works in a different way. So we're still working with our engineers to try and find the best solutions and the best car setup to extract the maximum performance out of the car and the tyre. But it's been a really enjoyable process getting our hand on the I-Type 6 and learning about its, you know, how we can make it faster, more reliable, more efficient. So yeah, it's been an enjoyable process, but now is when it matters. The championship starts this weekend, and we've got to make sure that it's in the best window, that it's reliable, and that we can go out there and score some decent points.
And what's your approach to this weekend? Last season was, I think by your own admission, a little bit of a tricky one for you, a bit of a tough season. What's your approach going into a fresh start?
It's like Sam Gen 3 going into this one. It's like a clean slate for everybody. I think that nobody knows how this weekend is going to go, which is quite an exciting thing, but quite a nerve-wracking thing as well. We dearly want the I-Type 6 to be super competitive out of the box, but it's unrealistic to really say where we are in the pecking order. I think we had a productive pre-season testing where we got a lot of things done. I think all the teams out there have unanswered questions on their cars, but we go into this, I think, with an open mind, and if we can get both cars to finish well, then we've done a good job here in Mexico City.
Last year, and I mean this, I think last year one of the things we recognise now, fighting Mercedes for the championship, Mitch coming so close in the end, but we were really racing with one hand tied behind our back. We had 2 cars, Mercedes had themselves and a customer team, which gives you a lot more information. So for this year we decided to be proactive and have a customer team. So Envision Racing is now our customer. They'll be racing the Jaguar I-Type 6 under the Envision Racing banner, which is fantastic. So 4 Jaguars on the grid this weekend. And interestingly, for the Gen 3 era, that's pretty much become the norm now. So we have a customer team, Porsche have a customer team, Nissan have a customer team, all bar one manufacturer has a customer team this year. So that's become almost like the new benchmark, right? And it just shows again how competitive this championship is, that's become the normal situation.
And some new manufacturers that you've talked about coming into the championship, which shows the benefits of it and the growth of the championship. This is a really competitive Formula E grid now in terms of drivers, but also the manufacturers that Jaguar TCS Racing are up against.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I mean, Mitch and Sam covered the driver challenge really, really well, but to have two great new brands, actually three now coming to Formula E. We have Maserati joining the championship, an iconic racing company as well. McLaren coming in, obviously hugely successful in the sport, in Formula 1, in IndyCar, in other categories of motorsport, but also now in Formula E, super exciting. And then to see the Volkswagen Group come back with their Seat brand just shows the increasing appeal again of Formula E. Long term, we know the importance of electric propulsion in terms of overall mobility. So to see the quality of the manufacturers involved in Formula E, alongside the additions like ourselves, to see new brands coming in, just shows you the growing appeal of Formula E as a true world championship and the pinnacle of electric racing.
I was just going to round up by just saying a big thank you again to Raul and the team at Jaguar Land Rover Mexico and the whole region actually for supporting us. And I wonder, James, if you could just touch on how important it is for us to come to events like this and get that support from our colleagues.
Yeah, this is a huge one, and there's been many proud moments, as a team. Sometimes when we've had great success to have our colleagues from around the world with us, and Raul now have enjoyed a glass of champagne together after a successful race weekend, and we hope we can repeat that again in the future, and hopefully this weekend. And we normally race for his birthday. We're a month earlier, so we won't be racing around the time of his birthday. So we'll hopefully, we'll try and work towards giving you something to celebrate. But yeah, it really is important. We're a global car company, and the fact that we're involved in a world championship and we can bring this fantastic brand with our fantastic ambassadors like Mitch and Sam, who represent the brand in a great way, is really important to us. So, for us, our job as a team is to write the next chapter of success for this amazing car company, and yeah, we love being able to travel around the world and build on that.
Most difficult and that stuff, what is better or not?
It's definitely different. The drivability is I mean, we all know the instant torque that the electric powertrain gives. It's pretty impressive, but we've got a lot more power now. At the moment, we have less grip though from the tire, so the drivability is a little bit trickier to get the power down. But yeah, the car is a handful. It's tricky to drive because of the extra power and the less grip we have. So I think it's going to be maybe from a spectacle point of view, it could be quite interesting to see us because we're going to be fighting the car a lot compared to Gen 2. Always in Mexico with altitude as well, the car feels lighter, feels like it moves around a lot more because we have less downforce. But we're yet to experience this car on these tracks. But yeah, at the moment the car it's trickier, sort of generally, but the car is the most efficient it's ever been in terms of the powertrain. I think we're operating around 97-98%, which is crazy. So their drivability, we're still new with the car, so that's going to get better. We're still learning ways of getting around, the traction sort of challenges that we're facing with the high power. But it's always the same when we have a new car. We always find ways of making it easier for Sam and I to drive.
So you say it's more tricky, but so you prefer it or not?
Let's see after the weekend.
Okay.
But it's definitely a bigger challenge for all of us. Is you're going to see more mistakes. Hello? Maybe it's sick of my voice, I don't know. But it's going to be, I think you'll see more mistakes from us, harder to put laps together. So I think the main thing is we want it to be exciting for people to watch. And well, we don't know that yet, and we'll find out soon. But hopefully we're fast in it and we can get on top of it.
Maybe just a follow-up question to that, to you, Sam. If we make it through the group stages of qualifying into the duels, it's 350 kilowatts, so it's the maximum power of this new Generation 3 car. How difficult is that going to be?
Again, that's going to be very, very tricky. We don't really know what to expect. If we can get through to the jaws, then that's great. We're guaranteed a top 8 starting point, and then it's all about trying to get further up the grid from there. But how the tyre will work in the head-to-head shootouts, what do we do? Do we keep the tyres on? Do we rotate tyres? What do we do with the tyre pressures? These are all questions that we'll know more about come Saturday evening, and then we can put them into practice as the season goes on. So it'll be a learning curve. Advice to enjoy the race. Wow, I mean, it's roughly a 45-minute race, roughly, which I think is a decent kind of time frame for an event. You know, you're not going to lose interest, and there's stuff happening every single lap. It's now a lap-based race instead of a time-based race, which I think is important for a new viewer, for them to understand what's going on, but to know that it's a technology that is relevant to the future of the planet. It's a present stroke futuristic technology, that it's 22 of the world's best racing drivers going head to head on inner city street circuits. What's not to love about that?
Would you also say there's an element of it being a one-day format, that the fans get quite a lot of action for one day, get to see you in qualifying, get to get some autographs from you as well?
Yeah, fans that can come to the race, yeah, for sure. It's a good event, good day out, good for families. But yeah, I think if anyone's watched the championship in the past, I'd expect the same in terms of just incredible racing, very, very close, very unpredictable, a lot of wheel-to-wheel combat. And if you've not watched it, I'd expect that. Just expect some good racing. Obviously, we're yet to experience this car, how it behaves in a racing environment. With, obviously historically the cars the drivers have had a lot of contact, but you can get away with it. New car, we're not sure how that behaves, how fragile it is, how closely we can run behind each other. These are all things that we need to discover, but it's still a very high quality field. So and same sort of concept in terms of energy saving. So I'm expecting some great racing.
Mitch, you can see on the car behind you that the wheels are not actually covered. You should know this. Hopefully you know this.
Thanks.
From last year, does that make a difference, do you think, in terms of the contact sport element?
Yeah, I think Gen 2, the car was very strong, very sturdy. We obviously had the wheel arches, so it was almost like a single-seater / prototype in terms of the way it was aesthetically designed. But it allowed us to run and rub against each other, which is unusual for single-seater racing. Whether people liked it or not, I'm not sure, but I think it actually added quite a bit of excitement to the racing. But this is more of a traditional open wheeler, I'd say. But we're not really sure how the car behaves with contact. We obviously now have a front powertrain, so the front of the car is a bit more fragile, and we need that for energy recovery and just it's just a different dynamic in terms of how the car has been designed. But yeah, we yet to see how this car, fares against each other, and I'll have more answers on Sunday, I guess.
But I guess the adrenaline is going to be quite high from 22 young, fit, individual athletes.
Yeah, especially with the long off season, we're in caged animals, and we want to get out there.
Caged Jaguars.
Caged Jaguars, exactly. So I think the car it's a lot different. We're going to be reaching new top speeds. Obviously the car is a lot quicker in terms of straight lines, so it's just a lot of things to that that are going to make it very exciting. But we're all excited. We're all just there's a lot of anticipation. There's a lot of nerves, a lot of performance sort of, I wouldn't say anxiety, but just like where we're going to stack up. So when the lights come out, it's going to be interesting.
James, I just wanted to pick up on one of the things that Mitch said there about the new front powertrain on the car. So we've got a new kit on that. Can you just explain a little bit about what that does and how that may benefit electrification in the future?
Yeah, well, you can't clearly see it in the car, but underneath the bodywork at the front of the car is another front motor, and then we use that motor basically to regenerate energy from the forward movement of the car back into the battery. So it's another kind of key vital component. We have to use that also for some of our braking. So obviously when you regen, you're slowing the front axle. So it's a tool to put energy back into the battery, but also to slow the car down on the front axle. So getting that feeling right for the drivers is really, really key and fundamental, and that's going to be, we believe, really important to unlocking the performance of this new Gen 3 car, is how we utilise that front powertrain. It's a common part, so it's the same for all manufacturers and all teams. So it's not something which we've been able to design ourselves, but optimising it with the software and how we use it is absolutely in our remit. So that's going to be really key. Mitch talked about the open wheels. One of the things which is quite interesting is because we have open wheels now, the drivers will have to be more careful in terms of contact. If you make contact, you damage that front powertrain. As a team, being ready to change that between sessions is all things we have to take into account coming into Mexico this weekend. So operationally, it gives us some challenges. But from a technology point of view, what is important is most future electric cars are all-wheel drive, so you can use all four wheels to put energy back into the car. So it also represents an important step in terms of electric racing as well.
Might be a short answer.
I think it was a fun, interesting concept to get people engaged in Formula E in its infancy. But I feel like we have, as a series, outgrown that now, because there's so many other details to the race. You know, we've got attack modes. At some point in the near future, we will be introducing fast pit stops where we recharge during the pit stop. So there's other elements to the race that are very, very interesting to look out for that I think have outgrown Fan Boost. So there's still plenty to look forward to.
Mitch, you won a few Fan Boosts last year?
I did, for once. Yeah, I'm not going to miss it, I think. But I think Sam wrapped it up really nicely. We've outgrown it now. We've got so many things going on with the category, attack modes, etc. So I think once we get the pit stops back into, pit stops is quite a traditional thing in motorsport, and I think to do that with the fast charging will then showcase, EVs in a sporting state, which I think is really exciting. But yeah, I think I sort of ran a score. So yeah, I don't know what you guys thought, but I think it was time to say goodbye.
And it's time for us to say goodbye. Ladies and gentlemen, big thank you for hosting us today. Big thank you to Raul and the team for looking after us. We do appreciate it. It feels like our second home coming back here every year. We love being in Mexico City. We're really excited about the race on Saturday. I know some of you are going to come and join us. Some of you have got some interviews with the drivers and James just after this, but I just wanted to personally thank you all, and we look forward to seeing you on Saturday. Thank you.